Hi, Blueberry AI. My name is Steve. Thank you again for the opportunity for this interview. I just wanted to really quickly thank you, and I think that you know, uh, I hope that this demo proves that I'm highly interested in working with you guys, and I think me and Blueberry AI will be quite a good fit. All right, let's go. So, just to really quickly summarize what I've kind of figured out about Blueberry AI. I think if I really wanted to summarize it in a couple sentences, I would say, in essence, Blueberry AI is a browser-based 3D asset management platform that lets, design teams and maybe companies and all their different teams inside a company preview, search, and collaborate on complex 3D models or, 3D designs, without needing other outside specialized software. Not only that, Blueberry AI has its own internal engine called the Kiwi engine, as well as AI-driven, tagging and searching. In essence, it streamlines and simplifies asset workflows. It reduces costs, and it also helps speed up production and organization, for many industries such as gaming, design, and e-commerce. So, really quickly, why Blueberry AI? I think one of the coolest things about what you guys do is the ability to view any 3D files right in your browser. Well, most anyways. You don't need other add-ons or other software. You don't need Adobe Illustrator or Blender or whatever. You can see everything right here, right through the browser. You can preview them. You can scroll left to right and view them, zoom in, all that stuff really quickly. Everything is done right through the browser, like utilizing you know Blueberry AI's own Kiwi engine. Things like 3D Max, Maya, Blender. These are all huge 3D design apps, and you can all view directly right through your browser. It's quite easy. You can share, you can collaborate, you can comment, you can, do simple edits. Like, if I wanted to circle a part of it, and I can make a note, be like, okay, I don't like the design of this leg. I want to change it, or I want to make it a different color. For example, you can do all of that right directly through your browser through Blueberry AI. Couple quick features, couple key features that Blueberry AI is offering is number one, like I already mentioned, you guys have the AI powered smart search. Uh, everything is everything is really simple. You can search keywords and you can find different types of content or tags or keywords. No more manually scrolling through all kinds of files. I'll show you a little bit later about what I mean. I have a couple game modding files that I like to play with, and it's quite difficult to find certain things. And I think like with Blueberry AI, it's a lot easier to simplify and search through these things. You guys also help with automatic tagging and organization. I think it's really cool how, there's a level of organization for all the assets you may want to upload. As everyone knows, a 3D project might involve like thousands or hundreds of images, different 3D models to create one project. And sometimes it can be very difficult to find things, especially when you're searching through things manually and you got to bounce it to your other different coworkers and different projects and whatnot. It's can be very easy to lose track of things and not be able to find, what you're looking for. I think again, like I mentioned before, the Kiwi engine, it integrates very easy with 3D Max, Maya, Blender, a lot of different gaming engines. So it's very easy to collaborate and very easy to put everything together into one platform for easy viewing and easy access and collaboration. Like the next point that I want to bring up sort of ties into the previous point. Like you guys can help organize everything from standard JPEG images or GIFs or whatnot to complex 3D models. Everything can be bundled into one platform. It helps ensure like smooth operation. It makes it easy to access things, and it makes it easy to, organize and collaborate and all these things. I think last couple of points I want to also mention is like it's all uploaded with quick file transfers, everything is there. You don't need to download this and that, everything. You can view everything right into the Kiwi engine. So it's very simple. You don't need to download a 500 megabyte thing and a 2 gigabyte thing right there. Everything is there, all in one easy, platform to view. So a couple of things that I want to talk about that you guys mentioned in the email is talking about, what exactly asset management platforms like Blueberry AI face, some of the challenges that you guys might face, questions that you might get from customers, and how to address them and how to make it, a priority, to know that asset management is much more than just uploading a file and downloading a file, or for example. So one thing I'm sure now, especially now in 2025, everyone always questions security and file leaks and whatnot. Like, for example, I'm sure everyone in the gaming industry knows about Rockstar's leak with GTA 6 a couple of years ago. One person was able to get into uh Rockstar's like files and upload all these leaks about GTA 6, which is supposed to be the most anticipated game, that's coming out next year. And it's crazy, like how such a big company like Rockstar can face such a devastating leak from one person. So I'm sure, like especially in the gaming industry, but other industries as well, like security and file leaks, all these things, traceability is very important. So Blueberry AI, helps us answer these questions. People ask like, hey, how can we be confident that our files are secure when our employees leave, or, they resign, or let's say they're disgruntled and they want to leak something, maybe there's sensitive design content, like for example. So obviously, traditional file management systems, for example, Google Drive, which is a pretty common one right now. I don't think there's a lot of security necessarily involved. Let's say that you're in the loop and you have access to a specific Google Doc or a Google Sheet or whatnot, then it's very easy to copy these files and transfer them elsewhere and download these files and whatnot. So, there's not a lot of risk management or security with these kind of things. And I feel like this is a very important thing when it comes to data, data management right now. And we don't even need to talk about, the old school traditional local storage. Let's say the company is all networked onto one NAS drive. Anyone can access it. Anyone can go into this NAS drive and download files and copy it to a USB drive or whatnot. It's very easy to take these things away and, leave. And, with no security, there's always a level of risk involved. So how does Blueberry AI solve and face these security challenges? Blueberry's digital asset management system is specifically built to eliminate these security risks and improve operational control. For example, everything is secure within a centralized and one centralized location. You can customize every folder and every file's permission levels. So it's very easy to keep people out that shouldn't be in there. And what I think is really cool is, blockchain-based activity logging. So every user action is immutable. It can't be edited, it can't be changed, it can't be deleted. These are full actual blockchain logs. So there's full traceability and accountability. The fact that every action is immutable, I think goes a very large step in providing and preventing, file leaks and making security a much more of a higher priority. I think it's cool also that Blueberry AI has automated backups and, you know, uh, version management. You can always go back to previous versions or delete previous versions, and this prevents data loss especially when it comes to automated backups. So also another thing that Blueberry AI can do is it can help by giving external people or people that are not in the company access to assets only that they're authorized to see. You can set specific permissions for them to see only really specific files or folders. I think one of the most important things when it comes to Blueberry AI from a personal standpoint for me is reducing cost, reducing time, simplifying and just being able to have everything in one centralized location. For example, a personal experience of mine at my previous company was, when we were designing our exhibition booth, I had to have our design team, they have the Illustrator and all their other design tools. And, every single step I had to go to their desk, or we had to go to a meeting room and we had to discuss things one by one. I'm sure with like Blueberry AI, like if we were using that at that time, then, they can just upload their ideas. I can recommend changes or ask them, to explain further what they mean. And everything is done in one platform. So definitely would save a lot of time, save a lot of effort, save a lot of confusion. I think as they always have said, time is money, right? So something that is tedious and slow and inefficient, really tracks down, company productivity and efficiency. So this is kind of a cool thing where, for example, if I wanted to view a design team's asset, for example, I don't need to have my own personal copy of Illustrator or Photoshop or whatnot anymore. And everyone knows how expensive these tools are nowadays. You know, everything is done through cloud. Everything is done through SaaS. Like I think SaaS and cloud is obviously the future. Like no one's going to be storing things locally, especially when nowadays I think like teams can be all over the world, for example. Like so everything needs to be accessible. Everything needs to be simplified, and everything needs to be, really easy to understand and use, all while reducing costs. And I feel like that's exactly what Blueberry AI does. So I think the third part kind of ties in to the second part that I mentioned. I think, without a lot of different smart tools nowadays, I think design teams will easily use like sorry, will easily use like three or four different design tools just to create one asset, whether it's 3D asset or, like I mentioned before, a design booth for an exhibition. I think there's a lot of nuances, and there's a lot of things that, it's sort of like a tangle of chords, power chords. So it's not really efficient. It could be really expensive as well. A lot of like, for example, more traditional file servers, we can't actually see these 3D files. I have to download all these specialized tools. So I think what Blueberry AI again ties into the previous point where it simplifies and it centralizes everything into one location. Definitely will increase workflow efficiency, increase productivity. Yeah. So all in all, I think the whole point is to create, faster collaboration, better resource management, as well as fewer security risks, when you're file sharing or working together or whatnot. I think the I think the key point that sort of ties Blueberry AI, that ties everything together with Blueberry AI is obviously Kiwi. The fact that Kiwi can support so many industry standard 3D formats. You have your Blender, your 3D Max, whatnot. Everything is supported into the browser, so you don't need to download other add-ons. I don't need to have all these tools at my disposal. Everything is viewable right through one browser, and that's really cool. It really, really what really does make efficiency and everything. It raises that to a whole new level. I think, all of this is, you know, it's all about making accessibility and simplification, and it streamlines collaboration, makes everything, far more efficient. There's no software installation needed. I think like everyone knows how expensive Adobe Cloud is. Like I think nowadays for a simple license to just use Photoshop and Lightroom, for example, now is, hundreds of dollars a year, and it's not a small amount of money. Yeah. I think what's really cool with Blueberry AI, again, another thing is the interface. For me, I'm not a very big 3D design artist. I don't understand a whole lot of this, but even to me, I feel like it's quite intuitive. I can download it, hop into it, and I can perform basic tasks. I can upload my assets, and I can share my assets. All of these, like you know, It's based on how user-friendly the interface is, and I can say that Blueberry AI's interface is quite easy to understand. It's intuitive, it's easy to use, it's easy to learn. Like there's not a lot of like difficulty, involved in trying to learn how to use Blueberry AI. And that in itself is already, it brings a lot of value into it. You know. So I think if I were to summarize everything I just said, I think uh, the quickest way to view Blueberry AI would be that it's an all-in-one platform, not just for gaming, not just for gaming development, but I'd also say for businesses, creative design teams, even retail. It's all designed to centralize, simplify, and reduce costs to manage digital assets. Especially in a world driven nowadays, everything is so visual. Like you're talking about marketing materials, even viewing products online. Everything is so visual. And visual is all about storytelling. And if you want to tell a good story, you need assets and images. So I think, whether you're building the next big game or running a Shopify store, effective asset management obviously is extremely essential right now. Blueberry AI provides this secure, intelligent platform that ensures, your files are safe, organized, and always accessible. No more lost images, misplaced files, or stolen content. Blueberry keeps your assets protected and, your workflow running smoothly. So I want to go to a couple of examples of what I was messing with Blueberry AI. I think like, for example, this is what I was talking about. This is what I was talking about when I was mentioning that, oh, I was mentioning about with some game mods. There's a file called Cold Walker. And previously, just viewing it through File Explorer, like there were so many files and whatnot. So, it's very hard to find things, but now through like Blueberry AI, I can find things through AI really quickly. I can type in certain keywords. Everything is very accessible, very easy to find. It makes organization much more simple. I can right click and share this if I other people in my company. I can also copy or edit or whatnot. Everything is much, much, much more simple. I can easily view like file formats and whatnot. It's much more easy to use and much more easy to access and share and collaborate. It's really cool how also you guys have already you know have a set amount of like game industry demo files and stuff. So kind of to show off what your 3D modeling and 3D effects can do. Like it's really cool how, these are free and accessible. I could just load it in and it sort of demos just how intuitive Blueberry AI is, even at this point. Like everything is so smooth and easy to use. Yeah. So just to quickly run down some of my ideas with how I would approach the SDR role. I think one of the things now, especially now in the PC gaming world, is game mods. Just to show you a couple examples, like Grand Theft Auto 5 is one of the biggest and most popular modded games out there right now. There are so many websites that support this. There are everything from car mods to weapons mods and everything you can think of. And obviously, all of this requires 3D assets. You need to design things from the ground up. You have your car and whatnot. And this is, I think, a pretty nice targeted world because I think now the way things are organized in this world is quite, it can be a little bit chaotic to find things. So I think if there was a way to utilize, for example, if we got, GTA 5 mods, this is probably the biggest Grand Theft Auto mod website in the world right now, to somehow utilize some organization on Blueberry AI. Maybe that would be a path forward for, not just for them, but for us to also pursue new clients and whatnot. And it's not just Grand Theft Auto 2, it's like games like Cyberpunk and Forza Horizon, for example, that have so many game mods now, and it's such a popular thing. So I think maybe the game modding community would be a new target that if you guys haven't approached it, I would want to explore more options with and see if it's actually possible for more collaboration. All right. Yeah, I think that about summarizes what I wanted to say with this quick demo. I apologize, I didn't really use the Blueberry AI platform itself. Rather, I wanted to be a little bit more organized with a simple and quick PPT. So again, if you guys want me to send you this PowerPoint or whatnot, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time again. I really appreciate this opportunity that you guys have given me, and I hope to hear, back from you guys soon. Again, I really think that what you guys are doing is really cool. I'm really interested in. I would love to have the opportunity to show Case more on what I can do. Okay, thank you.